wise king in the Bible, Solomon, told us that he that walks with the wise becomes wise, right? So a person that walks with wise men experiences some sort of transfection. And today, I'm going to show you a criterion that you are going to use. I'm going to illustrate that criterion using a concept in pharmacology, the concept of affinity and efficacy. So let's flip the video. So we are starting with affinity. Okay, we are starting with affinity, and let's have a drawing here. Let's say that this is a receptor. Okay, let's make it that way. Might not be a perfect drawing, but let's just assume that this is a receptor. Okay, let's assume that this is a receptor. And then let's assume that this is a ligand or ligand, depending on your country's pronunciation. Okay, let's assume this is a ligand. All right, and this ligand in our context is a drug. Okay, so what is affinity? Affinity is this substance's structural compatibility with the receptor. Okay, so in affinity we have structural compatibility with a receptor. That is, this drug, this is its receptor. So the structural compatibility of this drug, of this substance, with its receptor is the affinity. Okay, it is also the strength of attraction. The strength of attraction between this drug, all right, between this substance or this drug or this ligand, between this drug and its receptor. Okay, so the structural compatibility between the drug and the receptor, or the strength of attraction between the substance, this drug, and its receptor, that is what is called affinity. So simplifying it, it just means that a ligand or a drug that has an affinity for a receptor has a shape that fits into the pockets meant for it on the receptor. Okay, so we see this, that is a square, not a perfect square, but is a square, right, fitting in, it fits in here, this pocket here on the receptor. Okay, this is the receptor, this is the pocket for the ligand, right? Let's say, for instance, I have a problem with my heart rate and I need a drug to regulate my heart rate. Okay, so this drug goes and links to this receptor here. I'm giving these too many explanations for some of us who don't have, a medical or science background. So this drug fits into the pockets of this receptor. That is what affinity is. So we can also say that this drug feels good or feels relaxed on the receptor. Okay, so it feels good, and relaxed on the receptor. All right, on the pockets that is meant for it. So it feels good there. All right, so that's the concept, simplifying, that's the concept of affinity. Now, our choices in life and in relationships, a number of times they are determined by how we feel, right? We feel good or we feel relaxed. We spend money, we spend time, and we spend other resources in search of compatibility, okay? In search of compatibility and emotional relaxation, all right? Emotional feel good, emotional compatibility with other people. Even when sometimes we don't fully understand what feeling good, feeling relaxed, and being compatible is, but that is just what we want. We are quick to settle down with people we think that have great affinity with us. We feel good doing that, and we believe that they are compatible with us, so we pitch our tents with them. Then, when a new person comes, right, and that new person, we feel that he has or she has a better, a greater affinity, we dislodge the old and then we take in the new. Because there are different strengths, different levels, different grades of affinity between a substance and a receptor. So let's say, for instance, that drug 1 comes in here and has a lower affinity. When drug 2 is coming, for instance, let's call this drug 2, all right? When drug 2 comes that has a greater affinity, comes, what it does is that it dislodges this and then takes its place. All right. So when we make the choices based on affinity, based on how much compatible they are, how much they make us feel good and feel relaxed and okay and, you know, good vibes and all of that, we run into the situation where the person that comes next, who gives us a greater vibe, right? I'm using, you know, a Gen Z language that makes us, you know, to feel a greater relaxation and all of that. That person dislodges the old one and then takes the place of that old one in this pocket of the receptor. And of course, let me just say it at this point. All right, my pen has fallen down. Let me say it at this point that the receptor is you, okay? And then the drug is the friend. Okay? The receptor is you and the drug is the friend. All right? Okay, so we go to the next one, the next concept. The next concept is the concept of efficacy. The concept of efficacy. And let's have our pockets. We have our receptor. And then with the pocket, and then we have the ligand or the drug. So here is the drug. Here is the receptor. All right. Now, in this place, what we have is that efficacy is that property that makes a substance, that makes the drug, that has affinity with this receptor to activate it. This place, this is firstly beyond affinity. Okay? And it has to do with this drug, I'm simplifying, activating the receptor. Okay? Whereas in the case of affinity, the drug can get into the receptor but not activate it. In the case of efficacy, when the drug links with this receptor, it has the ability to activate it. So the property that enables a drug to activate the receptor is what we call efficacy. So it is the capacity of a drug, in our context, or a ligand generally, speaking, to activate a receptor to transduce a given signal into a physiological response. All right? The capacity of a substance, the capacity of a drug in our context, to activate its receptor to transduce a given signal into a physiological response. Recall that I said, let's say for instance, I have an issue with my heart rate and I need a drug to take care of that. Now, at the level of affinity, that drug that I took got bound to its receptor, all right? It just binds its receptor. But at the level of efficacy, that drug that has affinity with the receptor actually activates the receptor to transduce a signal that is given into a physiological response. So if, for instance, I wanted my heart rate to come down because my heart is racing so fast and I need a drug to bring it to a normal state, when this drug binds the receptor, it makes the receptor to transduce that signal that it is giving to it into a physiological response. So what I'm going to have here is a lower heart rate. Okay? Whereas in this case, I may not have any reaction, any physiological response from this complex, the drug and the receptor. In this place, the physiological function I'm going to experience is the lowering of my heart rate because the drug actually activated the receptor. So here you will discover that not all the substances that have an affinity with the receptor have great efficacy. Not all the substances that binds with this receptor has a great efficacy. And without efficacy, there can be excitement at this point, all right? There can be excitement at the level of affinity. You can have excitement, but you won't have necessarily activation, okay? There can be excitement. Whereas in this place, you are having beyond excitement, you have activation. Okay? In fact, some substances at the level of this point actually can just bind the receptor and block it. They are called antagonists, right? So it can actually be an antagonist that binds the receptor and then blocks it from accepting any other thing that will come in it. Okay? So this is what happens at the level of affinity and at the level of efficacy. Right. Now, what is the juice? Why did I go this long route in illustration? So what is the juice? Okay, let me see if I can write it under this place. Or let me write it here. What is the juice? What is my point with all of this illustration? Okay, let me start here. Let me just write here and let's see. What is the juice? What is the main thing that I'm driving at? That is the criterion that you should use in the choice of your friendships, in the choice of your relationships, and all that. Okay, the juice. Now, where I'm going to is this. God, right, has placed potentials in you. So let's see, God and you, all right? God has placed potentials in you, right? Now, when these potentials are activated, the potentials need activation, all right? When they're activated, what you are going to experience is this, that they're activated. So these are your potentials, your purpose, activated. What you are going to experience is that there will be a manifestation of the purpose of God in your life. All right? God puts in potentials in you that will enable you to accomplish the purpose for which He has created you. These potentials that are there, they need to be activated. Okay? When they're activated, they manifest. And what it leads to is fulfillment. All right? It leads to fulfillment. So, for you to have fulfillment, there is need for your potentials to be activated, to use to accomplish your purpose, and then you will experience the fulfillment. Now, it's like the pool of Bethesda in the Bible, all right? In that pool of Bethesda that was just there, it was a normal body of water, okay? The pool of Bethesda was a normal body of water without activation. But when the angel of God came or comes on that pool in a particular season and activates that pool, it becomes a powerful source of miracles. All right? Without the activation by the angel of God, it is just a pool of water, a body of water that is just there, right? But when the angel of God activates it, it becomes a source of miracles that whoever jumps into it, as the Bible tells us, the person gets healed. Without activation, your potentials are just there, lying latent, lying dormant. And you will not be able to accomplish your purpose with those potentials, which are like tools that God gives to you to use to accomplish your purpose, right? And you will not experience fulfillment. You will keep running around in circles. Okay. Now, if we want to choose friends, the choice of relationships, the choice of friendship should actually go to the kind of people that will help to activate the potential of God in our lives so that we are able to accomplish purpose and have fulfillment. So, the choice of friendship should be at the level of efficacy that is beyond affinity. Like I said here, in the case of affinity, people are searching for just compatibility, right? Okay. People are just searching for just compatibility, feeling good, feeling relaxed, and all of that. But in the case of efficacy, what you have is actually complementarity, all right? Not compatibility alone, okay? Complementarity is not compliments, of course. You know, compliments is not just compliments. It's not telling you exciting things. You are beautiful, you are handsome, your neck is this, I love you, you are sweet, and all of that. That's compatibility. They get you excited, and you are happy, and you feel good, and all of that, which is fine, okay? But complementarity is actually at the level of activation. That this shape comes into these pockets right? And it fits in. This is different from this. Remember that you are the receptor, the drug is your friend, comes in and activates you, that you are able to realize the purpose for which God has created. And that is compliments, all right? Compliments you. So the person that you should choose is someone that compliments, and that is someone that inspires. Okay? Someone that encourages. Someone that helps you through challenging times. Someone that corrects you. Okay? Someone that prays with you or for you. Right? Someone that can even sharply rebuke you. Okay? Because sometimes we can do some foolish things, right? Someone that can sharply rebuke you and bring you back to the track. But if it is just someone who has the same vibe, the same energy and all of that, you can be on a wrong route and the person will just be cheering you on and you just keep going in the wrong direction. But at the level of efficacy, the person rebukes you and tells you, my friend, this is wrong. The direction you are going is wrong. The decision is wrong. You made a mistake here. Return to the original route so that you will not be thrown out. So the person is not a sycophant. He's not a sycophant. Okay? He's someone that loves you and wants to bring out the best in you. He's someone that understands the vision of God for your life and the goals that you have and wants to help you to accomplish them and wants to help you to achieve those goals. That is the person that should actually be your friend. And of course, you yourself that is making this decision to have this person as a friend should also be the kind of person that is efficacious, okay? That has the ability to activate the person to realize his or her God-given vision or God-given goals, God-given purpose in life, right? So I hope that this helps you in your choice of friendship, that you should not focus on just affinity, good vibes, compatibility, feeling relaxed, feeling good, feeling awesome, and all of that, and bubbly and jumping up and all, which is good, right? But go beyond that. Ask yourself, what are the things that God has placed in me? What are my potentials that are there latent? Is this person helping to make me to be activated and pursue those goals and achieve those dreams and achieve that vision and achieve the purpose of God for my life? Is that person helping me in the right direction? Is that person making me to be more godly, more Christ-like? For instance, as a Christian, you want someone that constantly leads you closer to Christ and not someone that pulls you away from Jesus, right? Someone that leads you closer to God and not someone that pulls you apart. And so, if that is what your eyes are on, then you will be sure that you will make the right decision on who your close friends should be, on the kind of relationships you should have, and even on who your life partner would be. All right? Efficacy above affinity. Efficacy beyond affinity. I conclude with this place in the Bible. In the book of Proverbs, let me write it here. I don't have space again here. All right. I will get better with this and then I will use better illustration tools. Okay. In the book of Proverbs chapter 20 from verse 5, the Bible says that the purposes of a person's heart, they are like deep waters. Okay? The purposes of a person's heart are like deep waters. I would have drawn a well, but I don't have space anymore. All right? Are like deep waters. So you have a well that has waters in it. So the purposes of a person's heart, they're like deep waters. But one who has insight draws them out. Okay, so consider yourself that you are full of water, but that water being inside the well serves no purpose. Okay, it serves no purpose being inside the well. It needs to come out and, refresh people, refresh the land, cool the environment, and all of that. Helps farmers, to plant and have good yield and all of that. So all of the potentials in you need to come out. And so in our context, a friend that has insight, a friend that knows you, a friend that activates you, a friend that is interested in manifesting the gifts and purposes of God for your life, that is the person that will see that well and help you to bring it out. Okay? Thank you for joining me. And from my pens and pencil here, I've been able to recover this one. I fell down. Anyway, so we say goodbye and God bless you.